Hi, everyone. This is EstaRa. I'm here with a message for you today. It is Monday, August 15th, 2016. And I want to give you a quick update about what's been happening on my end and what's been happening for all of us over the last several days. So, we had some massive energy move in over the weekend, massive divine masculine energy upgrading. And it actually was coming in so strong Saturday that I was supposed to perform an energy body upgrade for my clients, and I was actually asked to postpone it until the next day, where the energy would kind of lessen a little so that I could easily get into there because there was so much movement happening. So, divine masculine energy moving in is really um, attributing to the masculine uh, upgrades and activations that are happening for our masculine counterparts. And it doesn't mean that we're not affected by this energy. It's just that those carrying the divine masculine vibrational frequency at this point are the ones that are most affected. We also have some masculine energy within us, and that is also being activated as well. So when you think of um, all the energy that's been transpiring over the last couple of weeks, it has been quite a ride, to be quite honest with you. I know for myself, I've been through so much change and transition. I actually feel completely different today than I felt Friday, and then Friday than I felt the weekend before. It's like all this energy has shifted so dramatically within me. And I feel like the more vibrational frequency that's coming down on our planet, that's raising our vibration, and that's helping us to stay focused and steady, it's really, really affecting us now. So we are in the midst of major embodiment and transformation. And I feel like, this weekend was intense in terms of what was coming in. And I felt like my twin and I were probably more disconnected on Friday and Saturday, and a little bit on Sunday, um, in the sense that energetically he wasn't as present in my field as he was every day since he's been to my home. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel like he was turned inward and receiving this energy and experiencing all the shifting and changing. So, what does that really mean for all of us? And like, what is really happening to us at this present moment? So, if you experienced any like heaviness over the weekend or exhaustion, I was right there with you. I literally went to bed, I don't know, 9 o'clock on Saturday night and 8 p.m. on Sunday. I was so tired. I slept for like 10 to 12 hours both evenings. And it was so necessary because my body just needed that. I also had extremely vibrant dreams, tons of dreams, very vivid and vibrant dreams, giving me messages and answers to things that I've been pondering or have been wanting, more detail about. So that came in over my sleep. Do I remember everything? No, I don't, but I'm hoping that it'll translate into my reality very shortly because I, of course, didn't write my dreams down when I woke up. Yes, I tell everybody to do that. Everybody who follows me or watches me or everybody who's a client of mine knows that I tell you to write down your dreams as soon as you wake up because you will forget them. I did not do that. Part of it for me was actually the fact that I was sleeping because for a little while there I wasn't sleeping very well, and I was afraid that if I actually gave energy to being awake and writing something down, that I would not have gone back to sleep. And boy, did I want to go back to sleep. So that's kind of what's been happening. And in addition to what's that happening, I also feel like each of us is going through some epiphanies, like some big time clearings, if you will, personal clearings, almost like your truths are starting to surface and you're starting to come up with who you really are. And we talked about that before. I talked about it a couple weeks ago when I talked about the August new moon really being about embodying who we are, the Lionsgate portal with the energies that are coming in. So we're at this interesting time. It's getting better and better and better. And I want to tell you, I feel like it's going to go faster and faster and faster. Be prepared because that is what's happening is we're moving at a rapid rate. We're moving at star rate, if you will. And that means we're moving, you know. Oh gosh, there's much I wanted to tell you. Oh, so with all this being said, and all the updates and activations and all the cool experiences that are going on, um, there's been a lot of interesting energy from dark beings, if you will, dark attacks. And I know that when my twin is getting attacked, I hear a certain word and it starts playing up all the time, like in every direction I look, it's usually there, and that word will come through, and I'm like, uh oh, something's going on. So I know that he's been under attack, but for myself, I was too. And one of the interesting things with my twin, he has trouble expressing his truth. And I don't think it's because he doesn't want to. I actually think he really does. And I feel like in recent months and recent years, he's really wanted to tell me more than he does. And I feel like after we talk and he hangs up, we hang up, he sits with it and it really sits in him like, why didn't I say this? Or how come I can't? I feel like he struggles with that expression. And it's not just from, talking with me, it's not just the energy of us. It's actually one of his issues, I guess you would say, lifelong issues of speaking his truth. That was an issue for me. Speaking my truth was a problem. Growing up, I learned to silence myself and not speak up and say what I needed or ask for help. I learned not to speak and just let everybody take advantage of me for a long time. It took me years to like learn how to speak up and speak my truth in a loving way, of course. One of the things that I educate people on is that we are meant to speak our truth. If it comes to us, we're meant to say it. And it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if we feel like we're hurting them or not, as long as we are speaking from an intention of love. The intention is to express ourselves, share what we feel, and be who we are, and to express from a place of love. Then we can't ever really hurt someone. And if they feel hurt by our words, it's their own perception and their own experiences that brings that into their reality and causes them to be fearful and to be upset and to react. So please know that if your intention is out of love and out of expressing your truth, then please know that you can never hurt somebody by being who you are and saying who you are and saying what you feel and what you think and what you want. That is a necessity. And so a lot of us have learned not to do that. One of the things that we learn is not to rock the boat. And then if you're a twin flame, that like kind of gets heightened. And oh my gosh, doesn't it make it even more difficult? Because then we're like, oh, but they're talking to us, so I don't want to ruin this. I don't care. It's a crumb, but I'll take the crumb. I don't know if any of you've gotten there, but I've been there many times, and so it's taught me to suppress my truth a little bit. And over the years of knowing my twin, at the beginning, I said everything, thought everything, and expressed everything. I mean, at one point, he was like, I know, this is how you feel," and I laughed because he would actually say it, and he meant, I do know what you mean. I know how you feel. But he was kind of getting tired because I would be like, listen, I'm always going to tell you how I feel, what I think, and what I want to, because the reality is I love you and I want to always love you. I will never, ever want to suppress what I'm saying or what I'm feeling, because if I do, then I'll resent you and hate you. And I don't want to do that. I want to love you. Of course, that's my long winded way of telling him I love you and you're always going to hear me. And I'm always going to share with you. And I said, I expect the same in return. And what I didn't know at that time was that he was not capable of giving me back the same things. And nor was I capable of staying in my truth, because with him not speaking, it was easy to mirror that, and him um, not being able to express was making it easier for me to shut down, if you will, or to wait for that crumb and not rock the boat and not upset the apple cart, because I didn't want to like end our conversations. I wanted to continue. And so I had to relearn speaking my truth over the years. And then I had my car accident, which was awful. And speaking my truth was one of the hardest things to do, because I had to yell at doctors and tell them that they were wrong, even though they had such big egos and didn't have a clue what they were talking about, and basically told me nothing was wrong with me. Yet I couldn't walk for 2 years. So with all that, I had to relearn to speak my truth and express myself. And I'm telling you all of that because I really believe one of the biggest blocks that the dark does to me is creating communication blockages. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, over the last several months, I've had email issues, I've had telephone issues. If any of you know me, you all know the telephone issues, you all know the email issues, you all know the computer issues. And guess what? Yesterday, I had no internet all day. And I woke actually yesterday morning around 3 a.m. I woke up and I was going to write something and record something, and that didn't happen because I didn't have internet. So I realized, oh my gosh, my internet is down. And it wasn't my internet issue. It was actually the company's issue. So the company had to come out and do some work to get my internet working again. And they finally got it back to me this evening or today. It's the 15th. So I didn't have it for like about a day and a half. And, it's interesting because they block me in that way. But my twin is blocked at his throat chakra. And I think about, wow, how do I unblock him? And I really am not totally entirely sure what to do to unblock him. I've done every tool that I know. And I'm hearing a little voice inside of me say, it's not about you unblocking him. He has to do this himself. This is part of his journey, speaking his truth and owning his power. And believe me, I trust in this man. I trust him with every ounce of my being that he will do what he needs to do to get here. And he did. He came to my house 2 weeks ago. It's not quite 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks in a couple days. But I say this to you because if I can trust that he will get here, and I trusted, even though he would tell me, I'm coming to you. One of these days, I'm going to surprise you. And he did. But I didn't, it took a long time for that to happen. So I was having my doubts over the time. I'm not going to have the doubts. I'm trusting that he's going to do what he needs to do and express himself fully to me, to himself. I feel like, a lot of his blocks are based in childhood about speaking his truth and being heard and whether people should hear him or not, or whether he's worthy of being heard or listened to. And I think he carried that into his adulthood, which makes me sad because I want to hear him. I love hearing him. And, I want to share a little thing with you. One night I was speaking with him on the phone and I said, "Oh my God, I love your voice." And he went silent. He got quiet and stopped talking. And I thought, okay, why are you getting quiet? And I said, you do realize, honey, that when someone, I did it funny, I did jokingly, I said, you do realize when someone says, I love your voice, that actually means you keep talking because they love it and they want to hear more of it. So you don't just stop. And so please keep talking. And it didn't occur to me until I got off the phone that I really hit him hard with that. I mean, I was being loving and I meant it from a loving place, but it hit him really hard hearing someone say, I love your voice. And it triggered me to remember something about me. So maybe 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. I don't even remember, to be honest, maybe even 11 years ago. I don't know. Um, I'm bad with time, really bad with time. Um, he, I mean, I was in the car with a boyfriend, so it was before him. I was in the car with a boyfriend and I was singing. Now, I had never really used my voice. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to be in the chorus. I sang, and the teacher's like, "You're not good enough for the chorus, so you can't be part of it." I was 12. Who says that to a 12-year-old? And if any of you ever have said that to a 12-year-old, please, please, please reconsider what you just did and remember that every child's voice is beautiful. Every one of us has a beautiful, beautiful voice. And we think that we don't, but we do. And if a child doesn't have a beautiful voice and it's cracking and it's making weird noises, well, part of that is what's blocking them is what the question should be. So if you're an energetic perspective, that's what you would say. So I was 12 years old and I had a teacher tell me that my voice was not beautiful. And from that point forward, I stopped singing. I would sing in the car, but not in front of anybody. So fast forward back to 12 years ago, and in the car with a boyfriend. Now I had worked a lot on singing, um, but I wasn't doing it to sing. I wasn't working to sing. I did a lot of toning. I do a lot of chakra toning. I'm a sound healer, so I do a lot of stuff with my voice. But I also do light language and all of that work. So that is a huge deal with sound for me. And by doing that, my voice became beautiful. And I actually recognized my voice sounded beautiful. I was singing all the time in my car. And I had a boyfriend in the car with me, and I happened to sing with him there. And it almost, normally I would never do that. I would shut my mouth down and not say anything. But I just opened up and sang, and he caught me. And what I mean by that is he's like, you sound so beautiful. I literally pulled my car over because I was driving and I said, I started to cry and I said, no one's ever said that to me before. He's like, you have such a beautiful voice. He's like, it was wonderful hearing you sing. Sing again. And I said, oh my gosh, you have no idea how hard that is for me because now that you heard me, it scares me. And it was a vulnerability that I didn't know. Well, I'm telling you all this because that's what happened to my twin. He's vulnerable when it comes to his voice. And so it doesn't shock me that he's got a block there. And it doesn't shock me that our communication is a block. So I'm telling you this because I feel like all of you need to pay attention to what's going on with you and what blocks you feel like you have or you are trying to overcome, or you have overcome, and realize and recognize that your twin is still working on those, or they too have overcome those same things. We're all in healing mode right now. I feel that. And we're also in union mode. So the energy is pulling us together and bringing us together. And I just want you not to give up hope no matter what's happening in your world. So the voice thing and my not having access to the internet and not being able to reach out and communicate in that way, and I had some phone issues too. Um, I felt like that was the dark attacking me. But how did they attack me? They attacked me through my twin because he's not able to voice his opinion, so his communication's getting blocked, and it reverberates into my reality as an external block blocking me. And they amplified it by making it really difficult for me to get internet again. So I just want us all to be in a space of trusting this journey and this process and loving ourselves. And beyond that, believing that everything is possible. And I want to encourage you all to go into your heart as much as you can, because this is not an easy energy that we're in. As much as it's exciting and new and I have amazing things happening, the energy's heavy. We're in a heavy shifting mode. We're like, people are literally shifting into who they are. It's almost like, I don't even know how to describe what I'm thinking and envisioning in my mind, but it's like you're in a body and you're literally being twisted into the other position. So you're like a statue and you're being moved over. And I feel like that's what's happening to all of us. We are moving to receive. And as we start receiving all this stuff, we start to express that part of us. And I do feel like my twin will be able to speak soon. I do believe he'll be able to share more truths with me and more of who he is and more of his heart with me. And I really believe we're in that time where that's going to start happening. And that's probably why things are being amped up, where he's being blocked and I'm being blocked. And um, that's part of the embodiment, the new energy that's coming through. You know, it's not quite fully in us yet, it's still happening. And we have a full moon coming up this week. I will be pulling cards for this week also. I haven't done that for this video because I am actually cooking dinner and my alarm went off about 2-3 minutes ago, and I'm going to have to go in a moment. So I will be back with a reading for the week, but I wanted to just share some bits of wisdom that I have and some thoughts that I had about the energy this past weekend. Please trust where you are on your journey and recognize that it's so important to stay high frequency right now, stay high vibe, and only deal with people who are going to bring you into high vibe. And I know we have to deal with people who aren't always in high vibe, like human stuff, like the whole calling the cable company about my internet. That was very human. But do the best that you can to get out of that energy and go right back up to your high vibe. Because once you do that, you'll be able to hold the frequency and vibration of the embodiment longer and better, and it makes it manifest rapidly. And it will make manifest what you want to happen. And so I'm going to encourage you to do the best that you can to stay in high vibe frequency and not spiral downward. And it's easy because the energy's been heavy and I've been exhausted. So when I'm exhausted, I don't do my clearing as rigidly as I normally would do, or as thoroughly, I guess that's the proper word. I usually do clearings on me at least 2 to 3 times a day. And I can tell you when I'm really tired like that, my nighttime one isn't as good as it usually is. And that means I need to get more vigilant the next day and the next morning when I do my clearing. So, um, when the energy's heavy, everybody's feeling something. So it reverberates out into everybody's reality. We all pick it up in some way. So I encourage you, stay in high frequency, love yourself, trust that what just happened for your masculine counterpart. And for those of you who are divine feminine, it happened for you too. So you're experiencing it as well. It's just not to the extent that the divine masculine counterpart is experiencing it and receiving it. We are in amazing times. And I just want you to love every moment of it, trust in your union, and trust in the path that you're on, because honestly, there is no other way. When you're a twin flame, this is really who you are, and you need to be that every moment of every single day. Namaste, everyone. Blessed union to you, and hopefully, I'll be back soon.